What is the real relationship between young Jock and Kirk Frost? It's official. You see, Kirk Frost just received a legal notice from young Jock, and things are about to get sticky. Can you believe that these two were best friends who would be spotted together everywhere, supporting and sharing the spotlight? Now that we're discussing courtrooms for attorneys and friendships that are unraveling more quickly than you can say bad decision, what in the world could lead two mature men to become lawyers? People ask, this can't be real. This can't be happening. But believe me, it's all taking place at this very moment. How far will go? Will it ruin Jock and Kirk? Is the question. Jock is dropping a legal bombshell on Kirk that nobody anticipated. Kendra, is there anything much more significant going on here? Or is this just a minor dispute over a miscommunication? Yes, the name that has been in the news lately has made some quite incendiary statements that may serve as the impetus for the entire feud. The next great single isn't the only thing that has the streets buzzing. We're talking about something much more delicious than any chart-topping hit. Indeed, young Jock and Kirk Frost are currently at each other's throats, and this is making waves that are hard for even the most dedicated hip-hop fans to keep up with. How did we arrive here? Now let's dissect it and take a look back. Is this the beginning of something stranger, or will Kirk's friendship endure forever? Not all of them were, but it didn't take a genius to see that these two were essentially the hip-hop equivalent of Batman and Robin. After sharing stages, performing together, and appearing on countless TV shows, these two, who were formerly close, almost like best friends, developed what many thought was an unbreakable friendship. Like the dynamic duo, you could envision them cruising about Atlanta, bringing their charisma and southern swagger with them wherever they went. A little review for those of you who have been living under a rock. Kendra's name has been making the rounds in the media for some time now, and not in the best of ways. Let's just say she has been stirring things up, and we're talking about bombshell allegations that have not given her a very positive image. Kendra, the lady who seems to have the ability to destroy everything, is finally going to be encountered by superhero teams. How can she relate to this problem with Kirk after using pot for months? You guessed it. Jock and Kirk's friendship may have turned from a solid bond to a ticking time bomb because of Kendra. No, I'm not referring to minor, inconsequential charges. Rather, I'm referring to assertions that are sufficient to silence anyone. Kendra doesn't appear to be holding back. It has been claimed that she has been criticizing Jock. However, that isn't even the biggest revelation. Oh no, the real drama starts when Kendra starts leveling some grave charges regarding how is young Jock related to this. Jock has always been devoted to his friends, but he is no stranger to drama himself. As you can see, when Kirk Frost, who has been rolling with Jock for years, accuses him of dubious activities, shady behavior, and essentially doing everything in his power to stay in the game at all costs, he is stuck in a situation from which he may not even be able to escape. When the charges against Kirk started to accumulate, Jock at first said nothing. Although Jock didn't want to think poorly of his son, Kirk and Jock have been close for a long time. But when further reports regarding Kirk's purported backdoor activities started to surface, Jock was unable to ignore them. When a man must decide between helping his friend and acting in young Jock's best interests, what should he do? Although this choice was difficult, it seems like Jock selected the one that would make a difference. At last, he fired and served Kirk Frost with a legal notice. You read correctly, young Jock went to court to make it clear that matters would not be handled lightly. In and of itself, the legal notice is important, particularly in light of the possible consequences, but this is where the strangeness begins. The Jock wasn't just attempting to make things obvious. No, he was making sure Kirk understood how serious he was about this breakup. And let's not even talk about how Kirk responded, because that will only make matters worse and is a whole other bucket of worms. Now, some of you might be asking, what's the big deal? Why should we care if Kirk and Jock are acting a little dramatic when they are grown men? That's where things become complicated, because these two men aren't just any two. They're both very important figures in the entertainment business. Young Jock is accustomed to being the center of attention, and Kirk Frost has accumulated a wealth throughout his years in the business. How is Kirk Frost reacting to this? He has made a profession out of dealing with challenging situations, so we know he doesn't back down from conflict, but he's unique. Kirk Frost may not be able to prevail in the public war he is facing. Having your name smeared in the press is one thing, but having a personal friend and business partner is quite another. put you under the bus. This is as intimate as it gets. And you are aware that it will be painful, particularly with all the cameras around. You're mistaken if you believe that this drama is merely a passing phase. It's become a media sensation that has the potential to change young Jock's and Kirk Frost's respective reputations. As the details become clearer, it becomes clear that is not your average feud. Rather, it's the kind of drama that has the potential to transform careers. Would Kirk Frost make it through a court case against young Jock? Will they remain friends? Never be resolved, or does this mark the start of the end for one of hip-hop's most renowned partnerships? This is only the beginning, my friends, but let's establish the atmosphere before we delve into the juicy details of what's truly going on behind the scenes. Not to mention Kendra, the woman at the center of the controversy whose accusations seem to have triggered the whole mess. Kirk Frost and young Jock are currently involved in a dispute that might potentially ruin their careers, genuinely taking place behind the scenes. You won't want to miss what comes next, so keep an eye out. Now that the setting has been established, it's time to get serious and examine the specifics of this catastrophe. Don't assume that this drama is merely a minor spat between two pals. We're dealing with the kind of complex web that has the potential to ruin lives, ruin reputations, and force people to reconsider everything they thought they understood about the hip-hop industry. Get a bag of popcorn. Let's be honest. We all know that Kirk Frost and young Jock had a close relationship, but in reality, it went beyond a simple commercial partnership. No, these two were all about establishing empires, making giant moves, and collaborating on everything from reality TV to music. However, everything would eventually collapse, just like everything else in this world of gloss and glamour and dubious backdoor dealings. Let's now discuss Kendra's charges and the resulting legal dispute. Kendra hasn't been afraid to voice her opinions on the men in her life, particularly Kirk Frost, if you've been paying attention to her recent interviews and outbursts on social media. But Kendra understood when to start spilling the tea, the instant she felt threatened, just like any shrewd, self-protective individual. Where have you gone if you haven't caught up? In all of this, Kendra is essentially the human grenade. The world went berserk when the truth about Kirk Frost was revealed. Anonymous sources that we cannot verify or refute are close friends because, let's face it, everyone has a friend who tells the truth. Kendra has been making some really audacious assertions, such as backdoor business and dubious financial transactions. Kirk has been playing both sides for a while, she says. To what extent should we believe their claims? Let's assume that Kendra is correct, but who can say that, as these claims are definitely unverified? According to some leaked rumors from what I can only describe as the most questionable sources on the internet, it doesn't take much to stoke the fires about Kirk and Jock's falling out. Since Kirk Frost's financial transactions are, let's say, being investigated, we know that hip-hop controversies don't necessarily require complete confirmation to go viral. In actuality, the public becomes aware of the statements more quickly the more ludicrous they are. Who do you think has been watching all of that drama? Items that raise the possibility that he has been living beyond his means. Kirk seems to have been trying to form partnerships with influential businessmen while concealing many of his activities. Many people would be scrambling to cover their tracks and get away with it if it were ever found. Anonymous insiders with knowledge of the situation claim that Jock was ignorant of all of this. Yes, Jock was kept in the dark about everything, and let's just say he wasn't pleased when he finally learned the truth. Now picture yourself and someone you've been working hard with for years, sharing the limelight. How would you react if they were engaging in shady activities behind closed doors? You would also want replies. This brings us to the legal notification that Jock, the man known for keeping a low profile, sent to Kirk Frost. According to reports, Kirk Frost received a cease and desist letter from Jock's team requesting that he refrain from engaging in any possibly unlawful financial or economic transactions that would jeopardize Jock's reputation and the brand's future. It's serious. It's not only about little matters. Sources with knowledge of the matter claim that Jock decided to file a lawsuit because he had had enough. Every plot requires a mysterious insider, let's face it. The seasoned businessman that he is, Kirk Frost did not react well to this PR catastrophe, which is only growing worse every day. Sources claim that ever since he got the notice, he has been on a warpath, claiming that Jock's charges are baseless and meant to ruin his career while threatening to countersue. Not to mention the pressure Kirk is facing from supporters and other business insiders who are now doubting everything he has ever done. while Kirk Frost's fans have come out swinging against these false accusations, saying that Kendra's accusations are a desperate attempt to gain attention and that she is just jealous of Jock and Kirk's long-standing friendship. Jock's supporters say this is long overdue and applaud him for standing up for what's right. The public's response has been rather different, ranging from tweets to stories on Instagram where followers are taking sides. Our fan base is fragmented, but that's not all. Under condition of anonymity, industry insiders who have witnessed it all stated that this scandal is just getting started. Because they have witnessed the patterns before: risky investments, questionable financial dealings, and the kind of greed that makes you wonder if maybe Kirk became too comfortable for his own good. They think that Kirk Frost's alleged shady activities may be much deeper than anybody thinks. The largest controversy might be this one. The repercussions are never pleasant in the hip-hop community, so let's talk about the aftermath if proves to be the case. We're talking about jail time, major legal battles, and maybe the loss of Kirk and Jock's entire careers if the accusations are accurate, which I'm not saying. Don't even think that this drama will go on. These guys are in the midst of a legal and public relations disaster that could cause them to completely collapse. The mainstream media is obsessed with the rap game, and before long, people will be discussing Kirk and Jock in public rather than the newest song or album. The question now is, will Kirk Frost somehow wriggle his way out of this legal battle like he has in the past, or will Jock prevail? Ladies and gentlemen, the tension is clear. This is not a friendly quarrel. It is a battle, and no one knows how it will finish yet. Hold on tight because the impact is about to hit harder than a tabloid bombshell if you thought the claims and legal notices were the end of the scandal. Is the kind of drama that alters careers, ruins reputations, and upends the core of everything Kirk Frost and the music industry stand for. What follows isn't just a straightforward apology or a few social media posts saying, "I'm sorry." Let's start by talking about the legal implications because if you were hoping that some back-and-forth Instagram posts would resolve this, you are mistaken. Our anonymous sources, who may or may not have been sipping tea in the VIP area, claim that young Jock's cease and desist letter was more than just a piece of paper. It was a warning shot across the bow, and it's now getting much bigger. Kirk Frost is considering filing a countersuit. I have gained the trust of young Jock. According to reports, Jock's legal team is obtaining information for a thorough inquiry, contending that Kendra's charges are untrue and detrimental to his reputation. This is a war, not just a game of legal chicken. The worst part is that they will both have to deal with a public relations nightmare. Industry insiders, those quiet people who have been observing this whole situation from the sidelines, are already whispering to you. Sidelines. And you know what? They claim that Kirk Frost's career is in grave danger because, when faced with such charges, credibility is just as important as the potential legal repercussions, and Kirk is currently losing a lot of it. He might make it through this legal problem, but he won't make it through the public outcry. But let's face it for a second. Young Jock's name is also at stake in this whole thing, so it's not just about Kirk Frost's reputation. Even if he has made an effort to distance himself from the scandal, the harm has already been done after years have gone by. Some fans are guessing that Jock might be telling the truth, while others claim he is only taking advantage of the situation to boost his profile. Let's face it, everyone has something to lose in a public dispute like this, so there is no clean way to win. What impact will have on their commercial ventures? That brings us to the next stage of this disaster when talking about persons like Kirk Frost and young Jock. You're not just talking about rap careers. You're talking about corporate empires. But that empire is in danger due to the drama that surrounds their love. Both of their alliances, endorsements, and side projects are currently for sale. Some firms have already begun to disassociate themselves from the two, fearing that the press could harm their reputations. Rumor has stated that Jock's main sponsors have already started to reevaluate their collaborations. Others in the game may be forced to reconsider how they manage their finances, relationships, and any possible conflicts of interest as a result of what transpired between Kirk Frost and young Jock. Experts in the field are now predicting a major shift in how these commercial collaborations function. But the worst part is that this incident has shown a serious weakness in these celebrities' business practices, which will the entire sector. Remember that there is much more at risk than a few accusations and a court notice as we watch this drama play out. The fallout from this incident could bring down entire businesses, friendships, and careers. The traditional method may no longer be effective. Will either make the game better or worse. In other words, everything is at risk, including Kirk Frost's business empire, Jock's reputation, and even Kendra's public image. Please leave a remark below if you're as astonished as I am. In this case, who do you believe is at fault? Is Kendra causing trouble like in this video, or is she the hero? You're eager to find out what comes next. Will Kendra use this as a turning point in her career? Or will they all wind up at the bottom of the barrel, attempting to salvage what was once a successful collaboration? The drama between Kirk Frost, young Jock, and Kendra is still ongoing, as is the scandal that is upending the structure of the music industry. All of this is taking place right in front of our eyes. The court cases, the public outcry, the startling disclosures. And I promise you won't want to miss what comes next. For more breaking news, remember to subscribe. You'll want to be present for the fallout, which we'll be closely monitoring. Please consider using the comments box below to express your ideas and opinions. This drama is far from ended, and the next popular conversation may be sparked by your viewpoint. Click like if you're still in disbelief over what we've found. Is Kendra only revealing the truth, or is she manipulating the situation to benefit herself? Is young Jock merely attempting to preserve his reputation, or does he have a good purpose for sending that legal notice? Is Kirk Frost's career officially dead, or can he bounce back from this mess? To make sure you don't miss any changes today, press the notification bell. One scandal at a time, we'll be here, prepared to expose the truth. Stay tuned, keep it real, and keep it locked until then. Stay informed about all the startling discoveries that are headed your way by subscribing. We have all the most recent drama, more in-depth analysis, and more breaking news.